Have you ever felt so lazy that even getting out of bed feels like climbing Mount Everest? If so, you're going to want to hear the story of Leo. Leo was, to put it mildly, the king of laziness. His room was a disaster zone. His alarm clock was his mortal enemy, and his favorite activity was, well, doing absolutely nothing. His family and friends had all but given up, labeling him as the boy who would never amount to anything. They'd say things like, "Leo, you have so much potential, if only you'd try." But to Leo, potential was just another word for effort, and effort was something he avoided at all costs. This went on for years. While his friends were getting part-time jobs, learning new skills, and planning for college, Leo was perfecting the art of the all-day nap. His world was small, comfortable, and completely stagnant. But one afternoon, something shifted. He was scrolling aimlessly through his phone, as usual, when he stumbled upon a video of a famous rock climber. This climber was talking about the sheer joy of reaching a summit after a grueling climb, the feeling of pushing your body and mind to their absolute limits and succeeding. He said something that struck Leo like a lightning bolt. The view from the top is worth every single moment of the struggle. Suddenly, Leo looked around at his own life, at his fortress of comfort and laziness. He wasn't climbing anything. He was just sitting at the bottom of a mountain he hadn't even bothered to look at. For the first time, he felt a spark, not of energy, but of deep, profound dissatisfaction. Was this it? Was this all his life was going to be? That night, Leo couldn't sleep. The climber's words echoed in his head. The next morning, instead of hitting snooze for the 10th time, he did something radical. He got up. He didn't clean his whole room. He didn't run a marathon. He just made his bed. It was a tiny act, almost insignificant, but for Leo, it felt monumental. It was his first step up the mountain. The next day, he cleaned his desk. The day after that, he went for a 10-minute walk. Each day, he added one small, manageable task. It was painfully slow. There were days he wanted to give up and crawl back into his comfortable cocoon of laziness. The old habit screamed at him to stop, but he kept picturing that summit, that view he hadn't yet earned. He started with physical challenges. He joined a local gym, initially just walking on the treadmill. Slowly, walking turned to jogging, and jogging turned to running. He found that the physical exertion cleared his mind and, surprisingly, gave him more energy, not less. This newfound discipline started spilling over into other areas of his life. He enrolled in an online course for coding, something he'd always been curious about but never had the energy to pursue. He failed. A lot. His first few projects were a mess. The old Leo would have quit immediately, but the new Leo understood that failure wasn't the end. It was part of the climb. He'd spent hours debugging code, fueled by coffee and a stubborn refusal to be defeated. He remembered the climber's words. The struggle is part of the joy. Months turned into a year. The transformation was staggering. Leo was fit. He was acing his online courses, and he had even built a simple app that helped local charities organize volunteers. His family could hardly believe he was the same person. One day, his dad walked into his now spotless room and saw him sketching out plans for a new project. He just stood there for a moment, and with a tear in his eye, he said, "I'm so proud of you, son." Those words meant more to Leo than any summit. He had finally proven not just to his family, but to himself, that he was more than his laziness. He had learned that potential isn't some magical gift. It's a choice you make every single day. The choice to take that first step, and then the next, and the next. Leo's story isn't about becoming a superhero overnight. It's about the incredible power of one small decision. A decision to simply start climbing. What mountain are you going to start climbing today? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow 4 more stories that inspire.